Konnichiwa. We're going to take a look at this article about nanowires beneath our feet and then about microbes affecting weather. It says the ocean floor and the ground beneath our feet are riddled with tiny nanowires, 1/100,000th the width of a human hair, created by billions of bacteria that can generate electric currents from organic waste. In new research published August 17th in the journal Nature Chemical Biology, Yale researchers describe how this hidden power grid could be activated with a short jolt of electric field. Quote, "We live in an electric world," said Nikhil Malvankar, assistant professor of molecular biophysics and biochemistry at the Microbial Science Institute at Yale's West Campus, and senior author of the paper. Quote, "The strength and conductivity of these nanowires, coupled with the ability of bacteria to repair themselves, could help create durable self-healing electronics out of living cells. In environments without oxygen, the bacterium Geobacter breathe by projecting tiny protein filaments called nanowires into bacterial communities known as biofilms to dispose of excess electrons resulting from the conversion of organic waste to electricity. But it has remained a mystery of how these bacteria, which stack themselves on top of each other like apartment high-rises, send electrons over distances 100 times their size. In previous research, the team showed that nanowires comprised of a protein called OMCS contained tiny metallic building blocks or hems through their length. OMCS transmits electricity. The new study found that when stimulated by an electric field, the bacteria produce previously unknown nanowires of a different, more efficient protein, OMCZ. Okay, so this next article talks about weather and ocean aerosols. So they use this ocean in a lab. It says little is known about how gases and aerosols made by ocean microbes affect weather and climate, or how human-produced pollution could influence this process. Now scientists report they've used an ocean in a lab to show that air pollution can change the makeup of gases and aerosols that sea spray releases into the atmosphere and in turn potentially alter weather patterns. Quote, "It's surprising that we don't know more about the central role of ocean microbes in controlling climate," says Kimberly Prather, PhD, the project's principal investigator. Quote, "They have the potential to influence atmospheric composition, cloud formation, and weather. Humans can alter these natural processes in two ways: by changing the microbial community structure in the ocean, and by producing air pollutants that react with compounds that the microorganisms produce. Through natural biological processes, ocean microbes, including bacteria, phytoplankton, and V's, produce compounds that enter the atmosphere as gases or aerosols. In addition, the microorganisms themselves can be ejected from the ocean in the form of aerosolized droplets. Some of these particles can seed clouds, absorb or reflect sunlight, or otherwise influence atmospheric conditions and weather." Quote, "There's a standard belief that one way the ocean can regulate the temperature of the planet is through emission of gases and particles," says Prather, who is at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography at the University of California, San Diego. Quote, "Some scientists refer to the ocean as the planetary thermostat." Prather and colleagues wondered how humans might influence this thermostat, but first they needed to learn how ocean microbes affect climate without humans. To find out, the researchers built a 108-foot-long wave channel and filled it with 3,400 gallons of seawater. They caused a phytoplankton bloom. They continuously monitored the gases and aerosols produced in the air above the water, measuring things such as aerosol size, composition, shape, enzymatic activity, and pH. They also studied how natural changes in the microbial community, for example, introducing certain species of bacteria and phytoplankton, affected the cloud-forming potential of the aerosols. Quote, "The short answer is that the biology had very little effect on sea spray aerosol composition, Prather says. Quote, altering natural biological processes in seawater resulted in a very small change in the ability of the primary particles to form cloud droplets. In contrast, adding a small amount of an atmospheric oxidant caused an immediate shift in the composition and cloud-forming potential of marine aerosols. According to Prather, the oxidant reacted with microbe-produced gases in the air, transforming them into compounds that changed the composition of the primary sea spray aerosol and formed new types of particles. Although the researchers don't know yet how other individual pollutants affect sea spray aerosols, Prather says that it's important to study the complete gas phase mixture of pollutants to mimic and understand real-world chemical reactions. What do you think about that? Okay, thanks for watching. Arigato, matane.